Forget everything you were taught as a child. Forget the sweet stories fed to you by parents, school, church, society. All those talks about justice, equality, about good always triumphing over evil. They are nothing more than fairy tales told to soothe the weak. The world has never belonged to the good. It was never created for equality. The world is an arena ruled by the law of strength. And that law is indifferent to your feelings, your hopes, or your dreams. This is a secret that has been silenced for centuries. It was burned at the stake, punished with exile, declared heresy. Yet it always lived in the hearts of those brave enough to see reality as it is. Emperors and tyrants knew it. Great generals and ruthless conquerors felt it on their own skin. It runs through the entire history of mankind like an invisible thread, lifting the strong upward while leaving the weak crushed beneath their feet. We are born unequal. This is not a political idea, not some malicious design. It is a biological fact. One is born with the body of an athlete, another with weak lungs and fragile bones. One grows up in a family with resources, books, and connections, another in poverty, where every day is a fight for survival. We are different from the start, and the rest of history only magnifies this difference. But society invented a beautiful lie, the myth of equality. Why? Because the weak always need to justify their weakness. They created a system that restrains the strong, that tames lions and forces them to live by the laws of gazelles. Be kind, be honest, share, do not dominate. Familiar words? They are not about morality. They are about control. Look around. In every collective there is hierarchy, even where equality is loudly proclaimed. There are those who lead and those who follow, those who make decisions and those who carry them out, those whose words change the atmosphere of a room and those nobody listens to. This is the law of social gravity. Someone is always on top. Someone is always at the bottom. Women understand this instinctively. They are drawn to strength, even when that strength is wrapped in cruelty. History is full of examples, from bloodthirsty dictators to mafia bosses, from charismatic criminals to cult leaders. Pablo Escobar, who drowned a country in blood, received love letters from hundreds of women. Charles Manson, a fanatic and murderer, had an army of female followers willing to give him everything. Al Capone, a ruthless gangster, lived worshipped by those who saw power in him. A woman may value kindness with her mind, but her body responds to strength. Kindness soothes, but it does not ignite desire. Excessive softness in a man is a signal. I cannot protect, I cannot lead. And then she uses such a man as support, as a safe harbor, but never as the object of passion. You've seen this many times. The nice guy becomes the best friend, the bad guy becomes the lover. Why? Because desire is born where there is challenge, where there is danger, where there is a sense of possible loss. In economics, there is a law. The more accessible the product, the lower its value. In relationships, this law works the same way. He who is always available becomes invisible. He who creates scarcity awakens hunger. And this strategy is ancient. Machiavelli wrote, "Men judge more by what they see than by what they feel." Julius Caesar understood that it is better to appear strong than to be kind. Napoleon built an empire not only with cannons, but with the image of an invincible leader. This is the secret of transformation. You become what you begin to show yourself as. The brain does not distinguish between real confidence and convincing performance. Behavior shapes inner state. Every gesture spoken with authority reprograms your consciousness. Every decision to act rather than retreat adds a brick to the foundation of your strength. And here's what's crucial to understand. Life is a theater. Everyone plays a role. The only difference is that most play roles of victims, servants, the ordinary. Only a few dare to play the role of conquerors. And that role, if you give yourself to it fully, becomes your reality. Your past is only a story. It has power only when you allow it to dictate your present. But every day is a new stage. The weak repeat the same role until death. The strong rewrite the script. You may think people judge your essence. No, they judge the image you project. The world has neither the time nor the desire to dig into your true soul. People judge by first impressions, by symbols, by what they see and hear here and now. And their judgment becomes reality. Want to control others? Control their perception of you. Want to direct their behavior? Direct the image they hold of you. This is not deception. This is the art of power. This is not falsehood. This is strategy. Power does not fall from the sky. It is not granted. It is built, step by step, choice by choice, victory by victory. And the very first victory you must claim is the victory over yourself. Over fear, over doubt, over the habit of being small. Every moment of weakness is a challenge. Every humiliation is a lesson. The alchemy of true strength is not about turning lead into gold, but about turning fear into courage, defeats into the foundation of victory. Strength is not only the physics of the body. It is the energy you radiate. It is your presence. A weak man can stand in the middle of a room and remain invisible. A strong man can sit in the shadows, and yet all eyes will still be drawn to him. Presence is felt not in words, but in silence. Not in movement, but in the readiness to move. Not in action, but in the force that stands behind it. And when you walk into a room, it should feel you before you even speak. Fear is the favorite weapon of the weak. They cannot defeat you by force, so they try to paralyze you with fear. Fear of judgment, fear of failure, fear of loneliness. But the difference between the strong and the weak is not that the strong feel no fear. The strong feel it just the same, but they act in spite of it. For them, fear is a compass pointing toward growth. Remember the stories of warriors. The samurai is not free of fear. He has simply learned to step forward even when his heart tightens. The Spartan is not born fearless. He is trained so that his fear becomes part of his strength. The history of victors is the history of those who did not wait for fear to vanish. They challenged it. In the modern world, the greatest resource is attention. He who controls attention controls people. The weak scatter their attention on trivialities, giving it away for nothing. To social media, to empty conversations, to worrying about what others think. The strong guard their attention like gold. They invest it where it brings returns. They cut away the unnecessary and build their reality upon focus. Where attention flows, energy goes. Where energy goes, results are born. This law never fails. Look at those who achieve nothing. Their attention is smeared thin. Look at those who build empires. Their attention is focused like a laser beam. Imperturbability is another mark of strength. It does not mean being emotionless. It means fully controlling the expression of your emotions. True power is when your emotions serve you rather than control you. Anger, joy, excitement, sorrow, all are colors with which you paint your picture. But the brush must remain in your hand. A wise man once said, "He who can laugh when another cries, and remain calm when another screams, holds the situation." This rule is eternal, for most people are slaves to their emotions, and that is precisely why they are easy to manipulate. The strong are always detached, not because they do not love people, but because they do not depend on them. Their solitude is not punishment, but privilege. The lion walks alone because he does not need a pack to prove his greatness. The lioness follows him willingly, for his strength is undeniable. Only the one who can be alone can truly be with others. Only the one who does not need can build healthy relationships. This is the paradox. Independence breeds the greatest magnetism. The person who does not beg for love or attention receives the most of it. The aesthetics of power are felt in everything, in the voice, in the walk, in the posture. The strong move smoothly, like predators. Their gestures are restrained, yet filled with meaning. The weak fidget, and their body betrays their fear. The body never lies. It is the first indicator of the inner state. That is why you must work on your body, not for fashion, not for others' approval, but because the body is the foundation of your presence. A strong body creates a strong mind. Discipline in the body carries over into discipline of character. The greatest revolution does not take place in the streets, but in the mind. The most important war is not fought with external enemies, but with inner demons. Your greatest enemy is not the system, not politicians, not competitors. Your greatest enemy is that part of you that has grown accustomed to weakness, that always looks for excuses, that fears the step forward. Every day you vote in an inner referendum. Remain who you were yesterday, or become who you could be tomorrow. Most vote for comfort, for the familiar, for the safe. A few vote for challenge, for growth, for the unknown. And it is those few who shape history. The world belongs to those who take it, not to those who wait for permission, not to those who beg for justice. The world rewards those who dare to reach out and seize what they desire. But strength is not only raw aggression. It is, above all, inner architecture. It is the ability to build strategy, to see further than others, to control yourself as well as you control others. Machiavelli said, "It is better to be feared than loved." But a true master of power is able to combine both poles. Strength is born in the details, in how you stand when you are silent, in how you respond to provocation, in how you look someone in the eye. These small things create an aura stronger than any words. Never forget, the world of symbols rules the world of reality. A crown is only a piece of metal, but it creates a king. Epaulets are only pieces of fabric, but they make a general. A logo is only paint on paper, yet it can be worth more than gold. People live by images, and he who controls images controls people themselves. Build your image. Make it a monument. Let every step you take reinforce it. Let every word you speak serve it. Let every defeat become part of the legend, not a stain. The great are not defined by the absence of mistakes, but by their ability to turn mistakes to their advantage. Look at Caesar. He lost battles, yet every step strengthened his image of invincibility. Look at Churchill, rejected time and again, yet he entered history as the leader who held an empire together in its darkest hours. Look at Elon Musk. He fell, he lost, but he rose again and kept building. The essence is this: Never hand over the wheel of your image to someone else. If others are writing your story, you have already lost. The world belongs to those who dare to take it. It sounds harsh, but that is how reality works. Look at history. No empire was built by asking politely. No throne was handed over willingly. No great ruler ever waited for permission to act. They took, with force, with cunning, with authority, but they always took. The weak can spend hours talking about justice, dreaming of a perfect world where everything is fair and right. But that world has never existed and never will. Why? Because human nature is unchanging. Because there will always be someone who wants more, who is not satisfied with little, who is willing to cross boundaries that others are too afraid to even approach. Justice is a fairy tale for children. In reality, there is only a balance of power, and that balance is constantly shifting. Today you may be a winner. Tomorrow you may lose if you stop and cease to grow. Power is not a result. It is a process. It is an endless struggle. But what is strength really? It is not just physical might or money. True strength lies in control. Control over yourself, over your emotions, over your attention, over the image you project. Control is the most valuable currency. A man who cannot master himself will never master others. Imagine two men in conflict. One shouts, waves his arms, burns with anger. The other stands straight, silent, calm, but in his eyes there is cold confidence. Which of them seems stronger? The one who lost control has already lost, even if he has muscles or weapons, because true power begins with the ability to govern yourself. Imperturbability is not indifference. It is discipline. It is the ability to decide which emotion to show and which to keep inside. It is like chess. You do not make a move out of momentary impulse. You build a strategy. You calculate ahead. A strong man does not fear solitude. The solitude of the weak is a curse. The solitude of the strong is freedom. Only he who can be alone can truly be with others. Because he does not cling, does not depend, does not need. His choice in relationships is always strength, never desperation. That is why strong men always appear different. Their walk is different, smooth, economical, like a predator. Their voice is different, deep, assured, every word weighted. They do not fidget, they do not justify themselves, they do not try to please. Their presence is felt before they even speak. The body never lies. Your movements, your posture, your gaze, all reveal who you truly are. But that is exactly why you can change your inner state by changing the outer. Straighten your shoulders, look directly, speak clearly and slowly. And gradually the brain begins to accept this as normal. And then change grows from within. The greatest war is the war against your own weaknesses. It is the battle with that voice in your head that says, leave everything as it is. Don't risk it. Better wait. Better hide. That voice is your true enemy. Because external enemies may harm you, but only the inner enemy can paralyze you before the battle even begins. Every day is a referendum. You vote. Remain who you were yesterday, or become something greater. Most vote for comfort, for safety, for predictability. A few vote for challenge, for danger, for growth. And it is those few who change the world. Look at true leaders. They never waited for permission. They acted. When others doubted, they moved. When others slept, they worked. When others dreamed, they built. That is why they are at the top, and the rest remain at the bottom. Power is architecture. It is built brick by brick. Every decision to be strong rather than weak adds a stone. Every victory over yourself strengthens the walls of your fortress. And even if today you are at the bottom, tomorrow you can begin to build. But remember, the world will not wait. While you hesitate, others act. While you doubt, others take what could have been yours. Strength does not ask for permission. It arrives and takes. That is the choice. You can remain in the world of illusions, where equality and justice exist only in words, and live a life giving your strength away to others. Or you can awaken, accept reality, and begin playing by the real rules. Yes, these rules are harsh, but they are the only ones that work. Accept them, and you will become strong. Reject them, and you will remain a slave. A true revolution never happens in the streets. It begins in the mind. Millions of people may gather in squares, shout slogans, demand change, but if inside they remain slaves, nothing will change. A slave mentality will always find itself a new master. Your greatest enemy is not politicians, not the system, not the rich or those stronger than you. Your greatest enemy is yourself, more precisely, the part of you that does not want to change. The part that loves comfort and safety more than freedom. The part that always finds excuses for why now is not the time, why it's better to stay quiet. But you must understand, there will never be a perfect moment. There will never be a day when everything aligns just right. There will be no signal from the heavens. There is only now. There is only the decision to act or to wait. He who waits always loses. Because the world does not stand still. The world is movement. While you hesitate, someone else is already moving forward. While you deliberate, someone else is already taking. And when you finally dare, you will find the most valuable things have long been claimed. The strong do not ask, "Will they allow me?" They simply act. And that is the key difference between a victor and one who waits forever. The victor acts, the loser hopes. Remember, life is a zero-sum game. If someone wins, someone else loses. If someone takes a piece of the pie, someone else gets less. And if you are not the one taking, you are being taken from. It is harsh, but it is reality. Look at nature. The lion does not wait for the gazelle to come and lay itself before him. He hunts, he acts. The predator is always the initiator. The prey is always the reaction. And in the world of men, the rules are the same. You may, of course, close your eyes and repeat. No, it's not like that. People aren't animals. We are civilized. We live by morality. But then look at those in power today. Look at the corporations that control nations. Look at the politicians who decide the fate of millions. They did not become powerful through kindness. They became powerful because they understood the rules. Power is not built on illusions, but on cold calculation, on the ability to see weakness in others and use it, on the skill of creating an image that millions believe in, on control of attention. Today, attention is the most valuable resource. He who controls attention controls the world. Social networks, advertising, media, all are battles for your mind. And if you cannot defend your attention, you have already lost. Because every minute you waste on trivialities makes someone else stronger. That is why strong people always guard their focus. They do not give their time to cheap entertainment, empty conversations, toxic people. They invest their attention where it brings results. And that is why they are always ahead. Now think, what does it mean to be strong in your own life? This is not abstract philosophy. It is concrete action. It is your ability to wake up and begin your day with determination, not procrastination. It is your discipline to keep your word, to others and to yourself. It is your ability to stay calm when others lose their heads. Strength is built from daily small victories. When you go to the gym, even if you don't feel like it. When you study, even when you're tired. When you do what must be done, not what is easier. And every such victory is another brick in your fortress. But true strength begins the moment you stop lying to yourself. When you look honestly in the mirror and say, "This is where I am weak. This is where I fail. This is where I must change." Only then does true transformation begin. Strong men always leave a mark. Their presence is felt even after they are gone. They leave a legacy, not only in money or status, but in influence, in the stories told about them, in the image that lives on in people's minds. Think of those whom history remembers. They were different, some cruel, some charismatic, some wise, some ruthless. But they all had one thing in common: strength. They were not nice guys who wanted to please everyone. They were those who changed the course of history. The world does not need another convenient, quiet, obedient one. The world is drawn to those who create challenge, to those who shatter boundaries, to those unafraid to go against the current. Now the choice is yours. You can remain in illusions, warm, cozy, safe. But that life is a cage. Or you can open your eyes, accept reality, and begin to act by its laws. Yes, it is hard. Yes, it is dangerous. But only then will you taste true freedom and true power. The world will not wait. It will not stop to give you time. While you read these lines, someone else is already taking a step. While you think, another is conquering. And tomorrow he will be at the top, while you remain where you were yesterday. Strength does not ask permission. It takes. And he who is willing to take will always rule. Now you know the truth. It may frighten you. It may provoke resistance. It may seem too cruel. But truth does not depend on whether you like it or not. It simply is. And only you can decide who you will be in this game. A lion or a gazelle, a predator or prey, a creator or a slave. The choice is yours, and you make it every day,